Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Crew First Culture podcast. I want to thank you very much for spending some time with us today. Very much appreciated. And today, another guest I've been excited to have on and share with you all. Today, I have Mr. Rodney Norman. How you doing today, Rodney?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for asking. Doing
Perfect.
great.
Good deal. So, I know a lot of you out there have seen Rodney. He's got some great videos, sharing some positivity, sharing some good thoughts. And of course, that's kind of my mission right now, is to share some of that positivity and try to make the world a little bit better. And so I thought, well, let's give it a try and see if Rodney would like to come on, and he was gracious enough to do it. So I appreciate your time, Rodney. Thank you.
It's an honor.
A good deal. So just kind of getting into it, and like I've told you, and like anybody out there that has listened to any of these shows, very informal. Just want to kind of have a little chat, and wherever the conversation goes, it goes, and we'll just enjoy the time.
Sounds good to me.
So, like I said, you have a lot of videos that kind of focus on positivity, a lot of videos that focus on kind of doing better, making better choices, things like that. So, do you have anything that really kind of inspires you to have that mentality, that to push forward and do better?
I think just in general, I think we all take life way too seriously. And I just want to get everybody to chill out and have a good time.
Yeah, that would be nice for sure. The day we're in right now, it seems like everybody is just it's just the world is ending, no matter what side of what conversation you're on. It's the worst ever, and man, I think that's exactly what we need right now for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's all by design. Powers that be want us to be in fear and have lots of anxiety and doubt, and there's no reason for it. You make bad decisions when you're emotionally involved that much, and people just need to just relax and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, there's nothing else we can do about it, right? So we might as well
Absolutely.
enjoy.
Well, it really comes down to that. I mean, there's things that you have control over and things you don't. And why stress about the things you don't? You, I mean, there's a lot of people with a lot more money, and they got an agenda, and they're pushing it. And what can you do to resist it? You can. It's a good thing to do it, but you can only do what you can do. So just enjoy what you can.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because I try to write a few notes just to make sure that I have somewhat stay on track, and that's literally one of my notes, is kind of something I've tried to focus on here lately, is not worrying about the things that I can't control. Just, if it doesn't have anything to do with something I can control, then there's no reason for me to worry about it, no reason for me to let it ruin my day or anything like that. And of course, that's one of the first things you bring up, so it's funny. But is that kind of something that you try to make a big focus for yourself as well?
Oh, absolutely. I bet we all still do it. We all still worry about the weirdest things. You think about all the things that keep you up at night. 90% of them are things you have no control over. So why are you wasting sleep over them?
Yeah.
And so it's something. And look, I still fall into the same trap. Don't get the idea that somehow I have got it all going on. Um, but I do know that when you finally just stop focusing on things that you have no control over and focus on the things that you do, your life is better. You just, it's just better.
Yeah.
You get more accomplished. You feel better. You have a good time.
Yeah, I think something else to think about when you're discussing this is, if you choose to put that energy in those things you can't control, and you allow that to take away from your positivity, take away from your attitude, all that, well, then when it comes down to the things you can control, well, then you have a bad attitude towards it. Then you don't have as much energy towards those things. And so you're taking away from the things that you can actually change, that you can actually have something to do with, and putting that all into things that are just a waste of time. And that's really, it's easy stuff if we just stop and think about it,
Oh, absolutely. As I've always said, it's not about ignoring things. It's about giving things a proper amount of attention.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't completely hide yourself off from the world. I mean, it's a good thing to be involved with what you can, but at the same time, take care of yourself. If you're worried about where the world's going, well, then take care of your home. Have a food supply. Have an emergency plan. Have ways to deal with stuff when power goes out, or if aliens start invading, or all of a sudden leprechauns are a thing and they start attacking us, and gremlins. Who knows what's going to come. But if you take care of yourself, if you're prepared, you will eliminate all of your fears and your anxieties, because you know that you're ready to handle whatever comes along. And so when you're just take care of yourself and you have all of those things that you need to take care of yourself, the rest of the world can do whatever it's going to do. You're going to be all right, having a good time.
That's right. And you mentioned earlier, you talk about just because you're saying these things and sharing these ideas and stuff like that doesn't mean that you've got it all figured out. Doesn't mean that you don't still struggle with it. And that's kind of something else that I've said several times is, it's almost like an accountability thing, that I'm sitting here talking about this stuff, but it doesn't mean that I don't have days where I am the person that I'm talking to. And a lot of the times that's what I'm doing is I'm sharing things that I need to hear.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I fall, I have bad days and all that, but it's just that process of continuing to try to do good, trying to do better, just trying to stay in the good zones.
Yep. As I've often said, most of these videos that I do, I'm talking to myself, literally.
Yeah. So you kind of find a way to use some humor to share all these things and these messages. Is that something that just comes natural to you, or how does that kind of play it out?
Well, I've been a stand-up comedian for over 20 years, and this guy, I love making people laugh. I mean, there's nothing that compares to it in the entertainment industry, is being able to just get up on a stage and make a group of strangers laugh. I mean, it's a joy beyond measure. And with that gone because of COVID, I just I just started focusing on doing more of the videos and playing around with different characters, and that's all I was doing, was just playing around, goofing off, and all of a sudden the videos started taking off. So it's been quite a ride.
Yeah, that's I guess that's a kind of a little area that we can go off into right here. One of your videos, you talk about finding outlets, and if you're getting frustrated and all that, find an outlet that you like to do to work some of that off. What are some things that Rodney Norman does to work off some frustration, or
Well,
any of the
obviously,
kind of stuff?
a chainsaw, always, I like to call it emotional support chainsaw. No, everything. I like working with my hands. I'm actually helping a friend with open a comedy club right now, and so I'm here helping, doing a lot of every. I've spent a lot of time working on a toilet. Let me just say that. No, I just just I like building things, fixing things, art. I like coming up with different characters, and just a lot of goofing off.
Yeah. So your characters, how much of these characters represent who you are? Are they basically, are any of them close to who you are, or are they all kind of a means of kind of maybe getting away from who you are for a little
But,
bit.
as I've always said, comedy is the art of exaggeration. And really what you do when you write a joke is you're magnifying a situation and exposing it. And with these characters, I think it's a lot of exposing just different aspects of my personality. And, because these characters have lived inside my head for years. And, just bringing them out and having fun. A lot of them are homages to people I've known in my life. Some are just stuff I just came up with in a moment. And just it's hard to say really where everything comes from, but this ideas pop in my head and I just start running with it. That's one thing I've learned is that when you get a creative idea, act on it as quickly as you can because they come and go. They're very fleeting moments. And when you think, oh, I'll remember this,
Yeah.
you never do.
Yeah.
So when you get those moments, just strike. A lot of these videos, I'll be driving down the road and I'll get an idea. I just literally just pull off the side of the road, set up the camera and do it. And that's why a lot of them, you hear cars rolling by. It's because I'm literally just on the side of the road. So
Yeah. I have I've got several notebooks. So if I'm somewhere where I can actually take the time to write it, I've got that for that, but I've also got a note area in my phone that's what it is. Something comes to mind, I just write it in there. And if any other person picks up my phone and looks through my notes, they're like, there's no way that they would make sense to anybody else because it's just random thoughts. But that's exactly what I do is if I wait 10 minutes till I'm somewhere to write this down or think about it, it's gone completely. So
yeah.
I just try to write as close to those ideas as I can, just so I can have them for later for sure.
Yeah, like you're saying, yeah, you might get down the road and not realize anything of what you wrote down because even you can't decipher it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it inspires you to do something else. So
Yeah.
yeah.
They're trying to read through my notes here. Sorry. So
As we were discussing.
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot of stuff out there that you're talking about, a lot of stuff that I'm talking about is just dealing with making changes and it's very well known that you can't change other people. You if you want to try it, you can try it, but you're not going to change anybody else unless they want to make that change. And so that has to do with us too. If nobody's going to change us or we can't just expect somebody to do the work for us. Is there kind of talk to me about kind of your thoughts on just being the person that makes that change, being the person that if you want things to be better, you're going to have to do it.
Yeah, that's the key of the whole thing is just making the decision that you want to do something different, that you want to be different, that you want to improve. Not getting down on yourself if you're not perfect at something right off the bat. I think that's one of the things that holds us back from accomplishing anything is that we think we have to wait for the perfect moment. We have to be perfect. Everything's got to be in line. I mean, for crying out loud, the planets just aligned for the first time in hundreds of years. If that didn't get you fixed out and think that was the perfect time, then no time's going to be perfect.
Yep.
But no, the best time to just do something is when you decide you're going to do it, just jump in and start doing it. And you're going to make mistakes, but that's how you learn. Adjust on the fly and just start plugging at it. I mean, it's pretty simple. I think we too often we overcomplicate everything, but we do that as a defense mechanism to make ourselves feel better because we convince ourselves it's such a difficult task that we can't start it yet because we're not ready. And so we give ourselves, kind of get ourselves off the hook by saying, well, it's so difficult that it requires all this preparation. Therefore, that's why I can't do it yet.
Yeah.
And that is probably one of the most crippling things that we do to ourselves. It's just that Perfectionism is the first hurdle to success.
And I love that, just anything to do with this conversation right here, because that I totally agree with what you're saying, but it's almost like it even goes farther. You're when you have something like that you need to be starting or doing, and that's the conversation you're having in your head. Well, yeah, that's a reason that you're giving yourself not to start, but it's also it's almost like you're building in a cushion for when you fall, that you can go back and say, man, I knew that was going to be hard. I knew I wasn't going to do real good at it. So I failed like I thought I would, but I kind of saw that coming. Well, if that's what you're thinking right out of the gate, even if you are getting started and doing something, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're not mentally putting everything you have into it. And that's another thing that what you're talking about is doing.
Yeah, you got to decide, are you writing your victory speech, or are you writing your concession speech?
Yeah.
And yeah, you can come up with the more excuses you can come up with, the better your concession speech. But
Yeah.
dang, what a horrible waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think just your story that you shared just a little bit ago about kind of what brought you to doing the videos, your stand-up comic is something you obviously enjoy. It's who you are. The world we're living in and the situation going on has kind of put an end to that, at least temporarily.
Mhm.
So where are you at? You're either somebody that just feels sorry for themselves and you know lives a life that they don't enjoy, or just is irritated with everything, or you can be somebody who finds a different outlet, finds a different path that uses that same type of thing that you enjoy so much, and in just a different direction. And I think that's a good story to share.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different kind of energy doing videos versus doing live performance. But uh, once you understand it, just start playing around with it. It's a lot of fun. One of the things, with the videos, I was reading a lot of stuff about how to make yourself go viral, and how to make a video that will catch people's attention and all that kind of stuff. And I intentionally just decided I'm just going to make videos that break all those rules. I'm going to do it all wrong. I'm going to have audio. If the audio's bad, I don't care if I screw up halfway through. I just keep going. One of the first ones that I did, I started coughing in the middle of it, and instead of acknowledging it or anything, I just stopped coughing, and as soon as I cleared my cough out, I just went right back to the video. I just It was so stupid. I thought, this is dumb, and I was going to re-record it. And I thought, that's it. That's the take. I'm going to use it,
Yeah.
and that's been the attitude. Is I usually do most of these in one take. If they're mistakes, I don't care, and I'm not going for perfection. I'm not trying to have the flashiest videos. I'm just throwing them out there and having fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is, we, like you said, it's easy for us to find those excuses of why we can't do something, why we can't start something. And this is a message I've tried to share several times, and some conversations I've had with other guests is everybody has something to share. Everybody has something to give. And if you're finding reasons to keep that inside, you're not only robbing yourself of probably some joy, some happiness, but who knows how many people out across the world, because you just aren't willing to step out of that comfort zone, get some strength, and do something that in the end is going to benefit you. So that's kind of what I was saying is it's cool to see somebody that was hit in life by this crap that we got going on, and found another way of getting back to where they wanted to be. And so that's a good, like I said, that's a good story to share for sure.
Yeah, just do it. Just get out there, do it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to look stupid. You're going to look foolish, and that's awesome. Get out of your comfort zone. Do make make a fool of yourself. Because once you make a fool of yourself, and you realize it's not that big a deal, and people actually enjoy it more, then you enjoy making a fool of yourself.
So why do you think that this is just something that kind of came to my mind as you're saying that? Why do you think the socially awkward videos that you're putting out are so popular? What is it about those, that person that you're putting out there that people are grabbing onto so strongly?
Well, people are so wound up. Well, one, everybody's trying to make everything perfect. Everything's got to be just the way it's supposed to be. The hair's perfect, the clothes are perfect, the background's perfect, everything's perfect. And then the message is word for word is exactly what needs to be said at the right time. And it's well choreographed and it's well rehearsed and it's all perfect. And as soon as we see it, we are instantly bored and put off by it. Um, this character, I call him Leonard, he's disarming, because you're just like, who is this nut standing in the woods? What could he possibly have to tell me? And it's so weird, it's so awkward, it's so what you're familiar with. And then he delivers a message that you need to hear. And look, not saying anything different. He's not saying anything new. You hear this stuff everywhere. It's out there. But hearing it from that perspective, from that just very simple, very very honest place, I think it just connects with people. And that's really what it comes down to. It's just that sincerity, honesty, a little touch of theater thrown into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really comes down to is he's just it's so disarming that you drop all your defenses. You're not there trying to find what's wrong with it because obviously there's a lot wrong with it.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason to find something wrong with it because it's obvious. I always find it funny when people, some of the comments they make about, you're an idiot and, what's wrong with you? Are you drunk? And all that tells me is that that's a very simple-minded person who's got a lot of personal issues.
Yeah.
Most people get it, they understand it, and they appreciate it, because it really takes them to a different place all of a sudden. Because you're so used to hearing all these other voices that are, commanding you and telling you what to do. And here, this character is just reminding you, hey, you already know this stuff.
Yeah.
It's sort of a confirmation. It's instead of telling you what you should do, it's coming from a place of, hey, you already know this. I'm just reminding you. So I'm not teaching you. I'm not here to expound on the greatest wisdom of all time. I'm just, really, it's you already have all this. You already know all this. I'm just reminding you. You're the guru. You're the intelligent being that's capable of comprehending all this. And this character just comes and affirms that to you. And so it's a different perspective. Instead of teaching, he's affirming what you already know.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You do see a lot of videos like that or just posts or anything like that is just super, super tied up and just trying to be, like you said, trying to be that perfect video. And, there's some good that you can get out of that stuff too, but it is different to see those and you can see that you're not worried about all the little stuff, the on paper stuff. You're just doing your little thing to hopefully share a little bit of positivity. And that I think that's probably why I enjoy it myself is it's just, you break away from everything else. It's just fun. And so that's probably, yeah. So that being said, we you talked about, the character that Leonard basically, and I've asked you kind of how much of yourself are in these characters. So with that conversation, the message that Leonard is sharing, how is that your message? I guess that's a little bit, I hopefully that's a different question than the whole who these characters are, but the message he's sharing, the positivity, everything we're talking about, is that you? Is that who you truly are? That positive person, the person that he is sharing.
Yes, yes. I've always tried to, but I've always been kind of a peacemaker throughout most of my life. I've always tried to be very positive with everyone I'm around. And yeah, this is really it's an aspect of who I am, and obviously just done in a more fun, carefree way.
Yeah, it's funny because obviously I've seen your videos, and when I kind of came to the conclusion that I'd like to ask you on, and then you agreed, well, then I wanted to dig deeper and watch some more, just make sure I kind of know some things to talk about. And I started seeing some other, what you call characters, and I was totally confused. I literally had no idea what to expect talking to you, because I didn't know if that was who you are, or if, and so I'm sure a lot of people out there are kind of on the same lines. They think that Leonard is who you are. And so I just thought it was funny that I literally did not know what to expect, having you on, what direction we would go.
Good. That means
But
they're doing it right.
yeah, it's just funny that, and I kind of started getting this is what I was kind of thinking it would be. I kind of imagined that those were parts, or those were roles that you were playing. But it is funny that when you only know somebody through videos that they're sharing, that's all you know. I don't know you personally, so I don't know kind of a background or history, but it's funny you talk about people leaving comments and kind of, you know not nice comments towards you, but it, it just affirms the role that you're playing. And it's funny that they're trying to pick on you, but you're actually taking that as a compliment.
Yeah, yeah. Like when the videos first started going out there, I had people who were sending me private messages asking if I was okay and getting proper care. In fact, I even had uh, people who are professionals in psychology and the health industry who were concerned that you know I was losing my mind, or had dementia or something. And I did. I took it as a compliment. I was like, wow, if I could convince a professional, that means I'm doing it right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just take it all in stride. I mean, people, I do have people who get upset when they find out that it is a character, which is kind of funny because, they connect at this deep emotional level and then find out that it's just a character. It's like, well, people had deep emotional reactions to a lot of characters, and people identify with people in Star Wars. Well, guess what? They're all fake. Um, but it's not. But the character might be made up, but the sincerity and the honesty, that's real.
Yeah.
I mean, that's coming from a very, very real place.
And that's exactly why I asked that question just a minute ago, about your message, if that was a true message. And how you just described it is a better way to say it, better than I did. That sincerity, and just that's an honest interpretation of who you are. And I wanted to make sure to ask that question because when you do start talking about characters you're playing, roles you're playing, all of that kind of comes into play and comes into question. But that's why I have you on, is because that's the kind of people I want to talk with and share to anybody out there listening. And so I'm glad to hear you explain that better so that we know, okay, that may be just a character of how you're sharing that message, but the message is your message.
Yeah. His Leonard in particular, he's designed to be the world's worst motivational speaker. Because his goal isn't to get you to change. His goal is to show you how all the things that you already want to be are already in you. You just need to foster them and grow them. You don't have to go out and get something new. It's already there in you. You don't need to change. You just need to be more of who you are. And it's a different perspective, I think, in helping people. And so he's really kind of a demotivational speaker.
Yeah.
Because it's not rah 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 go change. It's more like, hey, you're all right. Just chill out and have a good time.
I definitely understand. That's what we all enjoy the most about it is that it's so, like I said, like the term I used earlier is just so socially awkward that it almost makes you kind of cringe a little bit, but at the same time, it's so fun just to sit there and kind of watch him stammer through, whatever good message that he's trying to do. That's what everybody loves about it, for sure.
Yeah. Well, he gives you time to think
Yeah.
and listen. You have to listen. You have to think while you're watching these videos, because your brain's trying to make sense of it, because it's so different. It's not what you're used to. It's not what you expect. And it throws people for a loop. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So one of the questions I have on here, just a kind of fun question I've got, is one thing about Rodney Norman that the people that are following you would be surprised to hear. Is there one thing you could pick out to kind of share that people would not expect about Rodney Norman?
Twice in my lifetime, at two different universities, I have been offered a full ride scholarship in dance.
That's definitely something I was not expecting. So very good. Very good.
Mostly just because I was a male and willing to do it.
So what kind of dance are we talking about here?
Oh, the first one it was for a ballet company, specifically. And then the other one was for it was more modern dance and ballroom. So
Very nice. So can we expect to see you on Dancing with the Stars someday, or?
That is my wife's fondest desire, is for me to be on that show. I'm a much better dancer than I am a singer, but that's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. Well, I've kind of went through it, a few of the things that I had. I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything that you'd like to share with everybody out there that we hadn't talked about?
You know what? Every day you wake up, it's a blessing. Take it for what it is. Don't get hung up on your past, and just enjoy the day. Enjoy the people around you. Share a lot of love. Learn a lot. Laugh a lot, and just enjoy your life. Sure, it might get crazy. Life might turn into a horror show, but hey, appreciate the fact that you get to be a part of you get to be in the movie. It almost feels like life has turned into one big movie. And but hey, sit back, relax, and just enjoy yourself. Don't get stressed out. Every little decision you make isn't gonna, destroy or end your life or whatever. So just live and have fun.
Sounds good. So, I talked to you a little bit before, kind of through our conversation. I'm a firefighter. This podcast is usually centered around fire service people, leaders, things like that. But I've started wanting to kind of branch out, because there's a lot of other positive people that are out there that I would like to talk with and share as well. And that's kind of led me to reach out to you and some others. But that being said, knowing that we're talking to a mainly firefighter audience, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but I would like to hear something from Leonard to tell us firefighters that we need to just stop whining and just start getting back to doing the work. Quit whining and get back to work.
All right, hold on just a second here.
You could get into character here.
Hello and welcome. When you decided that you wanted to become a firefighter, you decided because you are a person of adventure, and you obviously think very high of yourself. Well, I would like to point out that the reason you think so high of yourself is because you are capable of extraordinary things. And so when you have the opportunity to go and do extraordinary, awesome things, just appreciate that you are the type of person who's willing to put yourself out there and do that. And so you'll run into a burning building to save someone's life. So obviously, you have the capability of not getting mad at people who cut you off in traffic. You have some self-control. Why don't you just apply it to everything else and chill out and have a good time? Okay, bye. How's that?
Very good. Very, very good. I very, very much appreciate it. You got it nailed right off of kind of being thrown in the fire there. So I appreciate that so much. So Rodney, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing some positivity with us and some insight into kind of your ideas on how we can do and how we can make things better. Appreciate your time and thank you.
Thank you. It's been a delight.
Look forward to what Leonard has in the future, or whoever else you got coming out, and so we'll see what you got coming out next. So thank you.
All right, thank you.